So welcome back to DC Silver Age Storytime, and today's story comes from Adventure Comics number 351, published in December 1966, and this is part 2. It's written by E. Nelson Bridwell and art by Kurt Swan, and the Legion have gone back in time to Superboy's era, because they need to hunt down a few magical items. But Superboy no longer remembers the Legion because they placed a capsule of kryptonite in his brain. There's Superboy in his Clark Kent identity. How can we contact him without giving away his secret? I have a plan, but what's that other boy? So we get a little silliness with some unflattering drawing by this kid of the teacher, and Superboy takes care of it. Holy mackerel, look out the window. Let's go outside and see it up close. Students, please. Oh, what's the use? It's almost time for the bell. So Clark changes to Superboy and heads out, and there is the Legion with their clubhouse. I told you, you'll have to get rid of that building. You didn't have a permit to put it up, but we're only going to leave it here a short time, officer. So Superboy comes up, but he doesn't recognize them at all. What Legion? I never heard of it or you. You must know us. How could you possibly forget? We're the ones who forgot. It's the green K capsule in his head. How did you forget? So Element Lad simply uses his power to change the capsule into... was it helium or something? Changed it into helium, yes. And so now Superboy remembers them. Now, I don't know why they needed this capsule, since in the past they've simply used super hypnosis, but I don't know. Had a whole story with her entering, with Shrinking Violet entering the brains and inserting the capsule. So that's what we need, a lock of Mxyzptlk's hair, and so that's one of the items they need for this magical spell. Now, I don't think this really makes sense, because Mxyzptlk was first seen with Superman, so I'm not sure how Superboy is even aware of him. But Superboy and Mon-El head to the fifth dimension, but Mxyzptlk already saw them coming. Hi, Soupy old sock. Welcome to the land of Zerf. The Superboy Museum sent me. The effects of your magic always vanish when you return to your dimension, so they have no mementos of you. They'd like a lock of your hair. I can understand that. I am pretty terrific. There you are. Take your pick of the instruments to cut my hair. So they start trying to cut his hair, but all sorts of tricks. The scissors turn into a baby alligator. The clippers turn into a toad. The razor turns into a snake. Temper, try this. So he thought it would be funny that since Superboy has indestructible hair, he would make his hair indestructible. And he starts playing some pranks. But finally, Mon-El just rips his hair off. My examination showed that this imp hocus-pocused himself some hair of real steel, but my heat vision can melt it off. Hey, quit that. So I think that was his legitimate hair, because he does say, look, that's the way you'll look when you grow up, in case you're interested. Now we'll say our names backwards and return. So they do. And they go back. So long, Superboy. Now that Element Lad's turned the capsule in your brain back to Green K, you'll be forgetting us in a few moments. Meanwhile, back in the 30th century, one of the Evil-O's servants comes across, or actually, I guess, Bouncing Boy, who no longer has powers, comes across this guy, and he hits him with water and then brings him to Evil-O. There you are, Evil-O. I captured a Legionnaire. You idiot. This is the one who lost his powers. He's of no use to me. So he just blasts this guy. I banish you to the realm of darkness. So in his, Evil 12 or whatever his group is called, he had 4. Now he's down to 3. So he's trying to collect 12 and moving in the wrong direction. So perish all who bungle their assignment. Meanwhile, the Legion of Substitute Heroes were sent back in time to Supergirl's era, which is not the same as Superboy's. So this is 1966. We're in luck. There's Supergirl now. If only we had a flare or something to signal her. They need the prints of the footprints of a magical animal. Hi, Supergirl. We've come on an urgent mission for the Legion of Superheroes. I never heard of them. I was sure I saw fire down there. But how could you forget the Legion and us? We need the imprint of an enchanted shoe. So if you'll call your super horse, Okay, I'll give him a telepathic summons. Calling Comet, follow my instructions. So she calls the Super Pets and has them attack the Legion of Substitute Heroes. Now, the Super Pets recognize them. In fact, Super Horse says, mind you, Super Horse has human intelligence. He is a human transformed into a horse. Strange, those kids look like the substitute heroes, but if Supergirl says they're phonies, they must let them have it, pal. So all the animals actually know, but they just dutifully follow. And I don't even know why Supergirl, and none of this makes sense. Like, why is she so aggressive? And why doesn't she just take care of it herself? Turning Stone Boy a luminous green will make him look like kryptonite. Those pets don't know about me, Color Kid. Green K, the one thing that can kill me, and Beppo, I'm leaving. Eek. Now, Color Kid was one who failed and joined the substitute. His power was particularly useless, but I guess it's useful there. And meanwhile, Chlorophyll Kid, I guess he keeps a pocket of all sorts of seeds, including catnip seed, and so he plants that. And the reason that Streaky isn't affected by the kryptonite is because he is not Kryptonian. I'm the only. Oh, anyway, so Streaky is now all enraptured with the catnip. I'm the only super pet left, but I can handle them all. Look out, here comes Comet. We need a shield this sidewalk. So she shields herself, and he just clomps down on the piece of sidewalk. I don't know what your game is, but you won't get my help, nor the super pets. Ha ha. And she leaves. I mean, she found them a big enough threat that she called the super pets to take care of them, but now it's just like, whatever. But they did get what they want. Look, Comet left hoofprints in the solid concrete. I'll repair the sidewalk, but we'll keep this piece. Great Crewman's Chinese. We did it. So they return to finish the magical spell, and the hag, which is one of Evolo's servants, comes up. So, here's where you've been hiding. I have a special spell to cast on you. Not if I beat you to it. Now I'll stir the brew with my armored arm. And she casts the spell, and the hag turns into a gorgeous girl. I'm not the hag anymore. I'm White Witch of the planet Naltor. So this is the first appearance of White Witch, and she eventually would become a member of the Legion of Superheroes. And we finally get the reveal of Ms. Tyrius and Surprise, and they are Dream Girl and Starboy. That's me, the gal who once joined the Legion under false pretenses. I meant well, but I lied about my superpower, so I had to resign. No, I don't think she lied about her superpower. She just didn't feel like it was honed enough. And I'm Starboy, the guy you expelled for breaking the Legion code by killing a man, even though it was self-defense. I'm Dream Girl's sister and a superheroine of Naltor. At least I was before Evolo transformed me with the evil essence. She taught me a few spells, and I was sure I could change her back if I could find her. Starboy insisted on helping. He designed our sealed lead armor. So there's a whole explanation as to how they seem to have the superpowers of Supergirl and Superboy, but not really. So I think this is pretty good. They wanted to help out and prove themselves without the Legion knowing who they were. Meanwhile, Evolo comes out. Welcome, Legionnaires. I suppose you're anxious about your friends in my custody. Come into the lab. Our doctor has been experimenting on them. If that fiend has injured them, great stars, I can't believe it. How could anyone do that? Which is repair them all. So Matter Eater Lad is now thin again. Bouncing Boy has his powers again and is very fat. And Lightning Lad has his arm repaired. Matter Eater Lad is his own old slim self, and Bouncing Boy is fat again. His powers must have been restored. I found a serum that can grow new limbs and one for instant weight reduction. I even recreated the fluid that first gave Bouncing Boy his powers. Haha. So that was not Evolo's intention, and he calls the Wild Huntsman to take care of them and his Apollo, and also his henchmen, and they get into a fight. But they are no match for the Legion. A little of my repulsion power, Pharaoh Lad, and you're a human cannonball. This lasso twirling is fun. Element Lad turned my gun into glue. It's got me like handcuffs. I can guarantee Apollo never saw that coming, because he's invisible, yeah. So Evilo gives up, and we discover that this doctor who was working for Evilo hates Evilo, which is not surprising, because Evilo turned his face into this I'll show you my real face. Do you wonder that I wanted revenge on the man who did this to me? My serums could help others, but they could never restore my human features. Well, that wraps up another case. May we come in, or is this a closed meeting? Superboy, Supergirl, how? How did you get your memories back? And what about the kryptonite cloud? Why doesn't it affect you? Come outside the clubhouse and we'll show you. Bouncing bolites. The green cloud has turned blue. Who could have done it? Me, Color Kid. It's still kryptonite, but it's altered its color to blue K, which has no effect on them. And okay, just change the color. He used the same method to change the green K capsule in our heads and restore our memories. No, Element Lad used his abilities. That was just a few pages prior. Anyway, Superboy, Supergirl, and Bouncing Boy, Dream Girl, and Starboy all back in the Legion. Terrific. There's nothing too tough for us to tackle now, so the Legion is back at full power.